Raising the bar and raising the funds. That's what we're here to talk about today, and that's raising the bars. In order to raise the bar for your organization or your college and university or whatever endeavor that you're taking up, you do have to raise those funds, and that's what we're here to talk about today. And that's fundraising. I've never understood the importance of fundraising until I had a conversation with Gregory Eubanks, who's the director of development for Stillman College. The basis of our conversation was about how private colleges and universities still pay for all these different operations, and they don't have access to public money. He explained that there were basically 4 different sectors that pay for everything that goes along with running Stillman, and that's enrollment, government grants, revenue from extracurricular events, and fundraising, which is his department. He went ahead to ask me what would happen if enrollment was down, season ticket sales were low, and the country is in a recession. How would we continue to make payroll and keep the university's accreditation and still go forth with all the operations of the university? Of course, I didn't know the answer, but it was a simple answer given. You have to find ways for others to support your cause and your organization, and that is my job. He then asked me if enrollment was high and revenues are skyrocketing, but there is still not enough funds to build a new dorm for all the new students that we do have. How are we going to house them? Where do we get the funds in order to build these? Build a new dorms, build a new gym, build a new library. Where do we get these funds from? And he once again boastfully stating that this is my job. I go find these supporters so that they can support our university. Every major successful corporation, business, educational institution, all of them have a sector of fundraising and charitable giving. If you do have the right cause, people will support it, and there's nothing wrong with going out to find those contributors or those supporters. So today I will be telling you about a couple of different strategies. Of course, you have different fundraising strategies. People do different sales, people do raffles, lotteries, and everything like that. But I'm going to focus on pretty much a relationship-based strategy, and that's actually having an event so you can be in a place of relaxation and of good timing with people so you can actually coincide with them and build those relationships so they will support your cause, and then it will be genuine. It will not just be you out here asking for a donation for something. So today I will be sharing with you HPE, which stands for Huddle, Play, Execute, the model by which provides me with the path to have a successful fundraising event and do it effectively every time. The first stop on our path to success is the huddle. And as they say, failure to plan is definitely planning to fail. So their plan is clearly the most important part of your event and of your fundraising strategy. You have to have a great foundation in order to get positive results. So first and foremost, we're going to establish our goals, our event goals, and our revenue goals. How do we want our event to run, and who do we want it to reach? Who is our audience that we're trying to reach, and what are we trying to get from them? We need to know that up front. We have our revenue goals. How much contributions are we trying to reach? We need a set number in mind so that we can put forth the effort to reach that goal. We need to establish a theme. What kind of event would we have, and how would we reach that audience that we want? That theme and the audience need to go hand in hand together. If you have the correct theme for your audience, then they should be there and be in attendance and be of support of what you're trying to do. How are you going to advertise your event and get the word out? Of course, the best form of advertisement is word of mouth, but still, you still have different mediums that you could use, such as social media, and radio and print ads, and etc. If you're going to use social media, what are you going to tweet, or what are you going to put on Facebook? How are you going to offer this to your customer that you're trying to reach? If you're going to use radio advertisements, how much do they cost? How many advertisements would you need, and how far out should you start advertising your event on the radio if you want to do so? And with the print ads, where are you going to put these print ads? Are you going to print posters, car tags, and or whatever you would like to print out, and how are you going to effectively get this to your consumer base? You're going to determine the location of your event and the time so that it could properly coincide with who you're trying to reach. You're going to get a host, and that host should bring entertainment and a lively atmosphere to your event. Of course, you're going to go ahead, and at this time you're going to find out what security bases you would need for your event so that everybody is safe and feels safe at your event, because that's first and foremost. Safety is first. If they don't feel safe, they're not going to support what you're going to do. And last but not least, you're going to use you're going to determine your total expenses. How much does your event cost? What's your total overhead, and how much are you actually spending out in order to have this event for support of your different organization or university? Once you figured out all this, you're going to want to compare this to your goals. And how does this total cost for your event measure up to your actual goals? And if those meet and intertwine how you would like, then we're ready to move on to the next step on the path. The second stop on our path to success is the play. And what the play is are just the actions that are taken forward to make sure that you do have a successful event. And that starts with your ticket sales, and how you're going to get different people and different supporters to your event. Because without these contributors in attendance, there would be no funds to be raised. How we go about signing these people up so that they would come to the event. How we go about getting them to purchase tables and different sponsorship packages all go into the play. And how we actually go forth with these actions is the first major step of the play. And once we have these tickets sold, and have these booths sold, and have these tables sold, and we've offered these sponsorship packages out, and we have received responses, then we go to our actual event. And the second part of the play is the coordination of the event. If it's not put together the correct way, it will look sloppy, and that's not the message that you want to send to prospective consumers, customers, and supporters of whatever that you are trying to do. You also must remember that being that this is a fundraising event, those who raise more funds usually do have more perks at each individual event. Though everybody who come will have hospitality shown their way, the more that you support us, the more that we'll support you. And that is how it generally works. So if you are a donator and you donate $10,000, of course you're going to have more perks, and you're going to get more things and gifts coming your way at each event than if you only donate $5,000. You do have to keep in mind your supporters and how your supporters support you. And that is the play. The final stop on our path to success today is the execution. Turnout plus proceeds equals level of success for your event. How well did you reach those goals that you set for yourself in the huddle? Did you meet those revenue goals? Did you meet those event goals? Did you Build those relationships that you set forth for yourself at the beginning of the project. Could the event happen again next year? Did you raise enough awareness amongst the audience that you were trying to reach in order to have a positive impression on everyone that came to your event? When the customers left or when your guests left your event, what would they say to the next person about your event? Could they bring other guests next year? Once you found all this out and compared them to those goals that you made for yourself, you will know if you've had a successful event or not. So you have to huddle and plan. You have to play and act out those actions in order to have a successful event. And you have to execute. If you do all those things, you will raise the bar and raise the funds. So in conclusion, I did want to leave you with this. There's over $290 billion in contributions made each year in the United States for charitable giving. If you have an organization or a cause that you're trying to reach, there's nothing wrong with going after supporters and getting people to help you with this. If you do not have support, you will not grow. So I did want to thank you for your time. I hope I've taught you something today about fundraising. And just remember HPE, huddle, play, and execute. And whenever you're trying to reach an audience and look for supporters, it's a guaranteed method to success. Thanks a lot and have a great day.